Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Age Origins. I'm your host, Lisanne Faye, and here before us we have our warden, Vicerana, and we are currently at the party camp. We talked to Wynn previously and left rather disgruntled. But since we talked about a relationship, let's go ahead and talk to Morgan. So, life in the West? Pretty lonely? Question mark?
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
That sounds wonderful.
For a time, but one can only remain a child for so long. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
What happened then?
Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
But you were just a child.
And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
They made you stronger, didn't they?
They did indeed. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I have to fight your mother still, so let's come back. Shale!
Shale of House Kadash.
Indeed.
Is that who I once was? I find this difficult to believe.
Well, I don't find it that difficult.
Then I envy its imagination. If I was this Shale of House Kadash, as Caridin said, there must be some evidence of my existence remaining. I must find it.
You think something will trigger your memory?
I need to know that this is the truth, and not simply believe. What Caridin said, it has allowed me to remember one thing. I believe I know where Kadash Taig is.
We can go there if you want.
Its offer is appreciated. I will mark the location on its map. If we can journey there soon, I am most curious as to what we will find.
Sure, we'll go there. I could have sworn we talked to Farron. Oh, but let's check in on Ogren.
There you are. Wanted to talk to you.
What about?
You and I, you know how sometimes you spend time with people and things.
Uh-huh. People, things, things. People, sure. You know what? I love you too, Ogren.
What? Keep your hands where I can see them. Sheesh. Can a man address a friend without getting all weird? I was just asking a favor. You had to go all that on me.
What of it? What is it?
I was thinking, I do know some people out here on the surface. A person, actually. A girl I knew in Orzammar. Before I left, obviously.
Let's see. A girl you knew or a girl you knew? Yeah, I know. Boldness is a little hard to read in order to, well, in order to, like, actually see the emphasis. That's one of the few times you actually get to see tone from the warden.
What? Oh, you mean were we rutting?
Yes.
Oh, aye. After Bronca left for the deep roads. Name's Felsi. She was a fiery one. I'm sure she's forgiven me by now. Thought maybe I'd track her down, see how she's been living.
Know where to find her. What's she doing on the surface?
What? Why are you asking me? I didn't do anything. I tried to look her up the last time we were at Lake Calenhad.
Oh,
She
we're
wasn't
still
at
there.
work at the inn. At home with her sick mother, they said. I figured it was just the ancestors telling me something. But I keep thinking about her.
There's something you're not telling me. Isn't there?
Ah, you suspicious sack of pebbles. You always have to think the worst of someone.
Yes. And here I thought we were friends.
Ah, you whipped out the knife, didn't you?
Yep.
Look, Felsi and me, we didn't leave things on the best of terms.
Go on. You know what? No. Go on.
Yeah, she was jealous of Bronca. And she got to be controlling, and Ogren was meant to be free, you know what I mean? Anyway, she couldn't handle everyone wishing they could be with me. So she left. Honest truth.
I'll wait to hear her version of this.
Aye, well, you go ahead. Wait, so we're going?
Yes, we'll find Felsi, I promise. It's just a trip
Well,
across the
and a
lake.
good friend you are, Warden. I'll think about you if we ever... no, actually, that would be gross.
Thank you.
What was it you wanted to say?
Uh, never mind.
Aye, all right then.
Okay. Disapprove. Ah. Then. Liliana.
Something I can help with?
Talk?
Yes? What's on your mind?
Anything? Nope, never mind. Zevran.
What say you?
Questions?
By all means.
More about your adventures.
Again. Well now, what might interest you, I wonder? Shall I describe the stages involved with Lanthrax poisoning?
Sure.
I watched a man go through all 7 once.
Wow. Patience.
No, I'll not inflict that upon you just yet. Let's see. How about the largest battle I ever took part in? That would have been the slaughter of Prince Osrin. Did you hear of that down in these parts?
I doubt it.
Prince Osrin was fourth in line to the throne, you see. He started off as 11th, but worked his way up the old-fashioned method by inheriting control of an entire Crocel from his grandfather. After assassinating his way through the royal family, the king hired 3 other cells to take down Prince Osrin once and for all.
Wow.
I was in one of those cells.
This was pretty common?
Antivan royalty is very much bound up in the crows. You wouldn't want it run by a bunch of commoners, after all, would you? And this means they get involved in politics quite often. This particular fight nearly bankrupted the nation, I understand. It almost ended up putting a crow on the throne, a commoner. But that's a whole different story. I played a very small part.
What'd you do?
My part in the entire battle was taken up trying to reach Princess Verina, who had thrown in with her brother. I killed about 11 of her guards personally before I got knocked out of a window.
Oh.
I landed in the river and nearly drowned. I was fished out by some urchins who robbed me blind. Made off with my boots, too. At least they didn't cut my throat. And that was my part in history.
Well, you're pretty lucky then.
It's true. I live a charmed life. One of the prostitutes that raised me was a fortune teller. Said I wouldn't die young. She was rather startled by that. But there you go. Tale told. Let's be off before I tell more embarrassing stories, huh?
Interesting. Where am I at with you? Oh. In rather good standing.
What say you?
Questions?
By all means.
More?
Well, the only one that's really worth telling is the story of the mission right before I came to Ferelden. But no, I would rather not. I shouldn't have said anything.
It's alright. I understand.
Thank you. Perhaps another day, huh?
I won't push. Okay. Done, 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 done. I already talked to you. No, well, I haven't this
Look.
trip.
Before we go any further, I want to say something. I appreciate that you brought me to see my sister, and that you were there to talk me down after we left. You're a true friend. I just wanted to tell you that.
Well, fine. We're in this together.
That we are. I have your back. You know that, right?
Yep.
Well, now that that's out of the way, ask away.
Had another dream about the Archdemon.
Yes, me too. And I got the feeling at the end there that it saw us, was aware of us, whatever you want to call it. Could have just been my imagination, I suppose. What do you think?
Think we need to be extra careful.
I thought we were already being extra careful. Does that mean we have to be extra careful now? Great.
Yep.
And there I was enjoying my nap. I guess one thing is certain at least, isn't it? It's official. This is a blight.
Yeah. Well, that's been official for a while. Anything else?
Ask away.
Questions?
Of course,
Grey Wardens?
such as they are.
Oh.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. Ask away.
Never mind. I guess I'm out of conversation with you. Sten?
You called.
Something you mentioned.
Speak then.
Never
Then I
mind.
suggest we move on.
Question?
I am hardly surprised.
Of course you're not. Do you find Ferelden strange?
To put it lightly, no one has a place here. Your farmers wish to be merchants. The merchants dream of being nobles, and the nobles become warriors. No one is content to be who they are.
Never mind.
Very well.
Let's go.
As you wish.
Apparently, nothing there. Okay, so talk to Morrigan, talk to Sten, Ogren, Leliana, Zevran, Wynn, Alistair, and Shale. Let's talk to you!
You're a hard man to find. Where are my manners? The name is Levy Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levy of the coins? Levy the trader?
I'm fine. Never heard of you.
Really? He never told you of old Levy? We've known each other for years. But here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more.
Thank you
A
for
tragedy
reminding
it
me.
is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
How'd you know Duncan?
It's a bit of a tale, that is. But I'm the one who brought the Grey Wardens back to Ferelden. Well, I was one of the ones. There were a lot of us. Maker's breath, I'm a bit nervous. Honoured to be here, really.
Uh-huh. Go ahead, tell your tale.
After King Marek freed us from the Orlesians, the Grey Wardens begged the King's permission to come into Ferelden, some sort of internal business. Me and a mess of other Warden sympathisers spoke on behalf of your order. Tan Loghain was very much against letting Orlesian Wardens in the kingdom. But Marek, Andraste, bless him, was a fair-minded monarch, and he let them in.
Go on.
So that's why I was there when the Wardens and their leader, Genevieve, presented herself to the King. The first Wardens in Ferelden in over a century. Proudest day of my life, that was. Duncan was a bit of a scamp back then. We were of an age and struck up a friendship. The King himself went with the Wardens on their mysterious business. When he returned, he rescinded King Ardland's decree, and the Wardens came back to Ferelden for good.
Note to self, I should read The Calling. Because that probably details what all happened here. Alright, fine. What promise did Duncan make to you?
My family, well, past is a bit checkered to see. Nobles look at us with disdain. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden Commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arland banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
Okay, what do I need to know?
Duncan wanted to reclaim the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak, and perhaps we'll uncover evidence to restore my family's honour along the way.
Alright.
Nobody's been to Soldier's Peak since the Grey Wardens were banished, but I found a way. They say it's haunted, and it's certainly dangerous. Will you help me?
How will reclaiming the peak help the Wardens?
Soldier's Peak is strategic and symbolic importance. Duncan said that it would be worth it right there. He also hoped to recover lost Warden history and perhaps a few old relics. No one knows what's up there now.
Oh, great. Alright, fine. Let's go.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Awesome. Alright. So we'll get to learn more about that. But on.
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road.
Yes, I bet. What is your story exactly?
Well, if you're really interested, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you. I am originally from Orzammar, the famed dwarven city that lies beneath the stately Frostback Mountains.
Which we just came back
I
from.
was a merchant there, too. Merchant caste. These things are in the blood, you know. You can't just leave them behind. I ran a fairly successful business. Rare artifacts, you know. Old things, grand things. The nobles loved them. Reminded them of the lost glory days, I suppose.
Go on.
So, as I said, things were going well. But good things must come to an end. One day, a noble woman came to my store. She looked around for a bit and then started shrieking in dismay. Apparently, she believed that a pair of braces I had for sale once belonged to her brother. He'd been lost in a cave-in, you see, while on an expedition to clear out the Darkspawn from one of the tunnels running close to the city. They were made specially for him. They're unique, she shrieked. He stole them from my poor brother's corpse. She had me arrested on the spot, of course. Nobles, they're touchy like that.
Dwarves in general are touchy like that. What happened then?
Well, I didn't steal them. You see, I'd been paying these castless thugs to venture out into the deep roads for me. The lost tigers. They're full of things that people left behind. Sometimes you can find a treasure. Something worth a little gold.
Well, better to do something with them than leave them to rot.
That's exactly how I see it. The noblewoman, she wasn't too happy with the theft of her brother's braces. I don't know what they planned for me, and I didn't want to find out. Bribed the guard that was watching me and took off for the surface first opportunity I got. Never looked back.
And here you are.
Yes, here I am. Now, is there anything the boy or I can get you?
Where do these goods come from?
Look, we don't rob people, all right? We don't take things from people that need them. The things in the lost tigers, what good did they do lying there? I brought them back to Orzammar, where people could look at them and remember. It's not all that different up here. There are places long abandoned by the humans everywhere. Even more now with the Darkspawn coming.
What do you mean?
People flee from the Blight with good reason, but they forget things. Things with value and meaning. They leave them behind because they're frightened and desperate. And sometimes, my boy and I, we find our way to these places before the Horde descends, and we save these things. I take them away so the Darkspawn don't get them.
Fair enough.
Is that so bad? They destroy everything they touch.
They really do. Yeah. Everyone has to make a living.
That's what I tell myself, too. Ah, these are dark times indeed. Dark times, my friend.
Alright. Didn't mention your son in your tale.
Ah, yes. I'm married to a fine woman back in Denerim, it's true. She'd give me a son if she could, but that's not likely to ever be. Sandal here. I found him in the deep roads years ago. Abandoned, I think, and he was never quite right in the head. I took him in, and I brought him with me when I came here to the surface. It may not be my blood, true, but I think of him as one.
We left Orzammar.
That's right, boy. Maybe one day we'll see it again.
Well, that's not all that important.
That's how I've always felt. As long as he's happy, so am I. It's not as if I don't benefit, mind you. Turns out the boy's a natural working with enchantments. He might have even been lyrium-addled. I never thought of that before, to be honest. Happens sometimes. He can work an enchantment into just about anything, however, given some time. Could probably open his own shop, if he knew how.
Enchantment.
Well, he does seem to enjoy it, at least.
Yep. Alright, let me see your wares.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected. And with your discount.
Yes. Okay. Whew! Nice pile of gold. That'll be great. Especially when I go... No more backpacks? Guess not. But that will be nice for upgrading armor and such. Alright, but real quick, let's take a trip across the lake. Ogren. Take Bunwolf. If Ogren's gonna make a fool of himself, Morgan.
Indeed.
Let's go to the docks. And load. Wow, didn't even get to see a blood trail that time. Kester's back on the ferry. There's a landmark boat. Good for you, Bunwolf. Am I up to date?
Isn't that the point? We could all be figments of someone else's imagination. Exactly. You, I, everything. All a dream. For whose amusement? Some being of cosmic power. Sublime, enlightened beings. Cosmic power? What, you're serious? They thought of all this grit, all the war. They bloody thought of boils.
Annoying.
I got a boil the size of your nose on my big toe, and some beings are enjoying this. Disturbed, sick bastards, if you ask me. Ahem. I still maintain they're more enlightened than that. If I ever come across one of them, I'll give them a what for.
I bet. Okay, places of power. Okay. Didn't I? Maybe I didn't? Oh well. Alright. Okay. Take those. The letters of termination. My dear apprentice, I have sent this courier with the note to officially end your period of apprenticeship. I harbor you no ill will, for despite your complete incompetence, you have failed to do lasting harm to myself or my work. Sadly, I will not have a chance to witness your floundering attempts at improvement. When you return from your current errand, your apprenticeship will be over. Now hurry, I have dire need of the supplies I sent you to procure.
Good to see you again.
Okay. Shield Bash can sometimes freeze your allies from an enemy's grasp.
There she is. I'm gonna go talk to her. Look, you gotta back me up here. Got it?
Of course.
Thanks, Warden.
Maybe I should talk to her
Find out
first.
how much she misses old Ogren or who I have to kill, and then I'll go sweep her off her feet. That's me, Mr. Charm.
Of course. Alright, fine. Hi, Felsi.
What can I get for you? And don't say mead. We ran out of that a week ago. And don't say rum, either. Ran out the day before yesterday. And don't say brandy.
Whiskey? When'd you run out of brandy?
Oh, we haven't yet. It's just terrible. We got it from a shady Orlesian trader, and I think it might really be turpentine.
Felsi! I need tables clean, girl!
I've got a customer!
Your name's Felsi?
Aye. Who wants to know?
Don't happen to know a fellow named Ogren, do you?
Did you have to bring his name up? I just ate.
What happened between you two?
What happened? Is that a serious question? Have you met Ogren?
Yeah, I
He
have.
got drunk. Drunker than usual, even. Took off his pants and challenged a roast nug to a wrestling match at my father's funeral.
Great.
He lost, by the way. The roast got him in an arm lock. He sat there crying for half an hour before someone pulled it off him.
How?
It was a sodding good roast.
Felsi, what in Andraste's name are you doing? The tables, girl!
All right! I've got to get back to work. I got work to do. I don't need to think about that sodding waste.
Well, what does she say?
She hasn't exactly forgiven you for the dog incident.
Ah, that fight was rigged. Anyway, the guards said it wasn't worth pressing charges, so she's no call to hold a grudge. Did she say anything else?
Go get her.
Just be ready to pry her off when she throws herself at me. We don't want to make a scene here. Well, don't pry her off me too soon. I mean, a little scene's all right. Are you sure you're not a baker? 'Cause you got a sodding nice set of buns.
Well, look what the nug dragged in. I should have known you were in the neighborhood, by the stench. What are you doing here?
Just trying to kick back with a pint. Fighting Darkspawn's a lot of sodding work, you know?
You're fighting Darkspawn?
Yeah, he took on an army of golems almost single-handedly, with 3 others of us.
It was a bit of pain, but it was a personal favor for the King of Orzammar, you understand?
The whole surface to choose from, and you just happened to come to my tavern?
Well,
Tell her it's fate.
What? Oh, right. It's fate, Felsie. What can I say?
Fate? The ancestors must have a sense of humor then.
Sure they do. You've had a good look at Lady Helmy, haven't you? If her face isn't a joke the ancestors are playing, I'm a Bronto's behind.
So, Lady Helmy must be a paragon of beauty then.
Tell her you've been thinking about her.
I've been thinking about you, Felsie.
Not like that.
What do you want, Ogren?
Nothing. Just thought I'd see how you were doing is all. Well, maybe that and grease up the Bronto, if you know what I mean.
I don't want to know.
You've seen me. You'll have to go back to Orzammar for the Bronto.
We should get going.
Wait, you're leaving? You just got here. I haven't called you a shaft rat yet.
Well, you can't keep the archdemon waiting. You hurt its feelings, it might just turn the whole blight around and go home. Nobody wants that.
I do.
Well, you don't need to fight it right now, do you? I mean, you could have a pint first. You could call me a surly Bronto. I could tell you that you smell like nut droppings.
I'll tell you what, I got some things I gotta do, but I'll come back for that pint when things are settled, you frigid deep stalker.
Fine, but you better not keep me waiting, you worthless copper-plated sword cast.
Wouldn't dream of it.
I don't understand dwarves. I don't understand dwarves. My flirting with Morgan makes more sense. And I didn't even understand that. Well, not early on. Later on, sure. Early on, not so much. Yes. Get that Mabari dominance going. Let's head up this hill here. Get this nice picturesque view in the background. And that is all the time I have for this episode. I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in. And in the meantime, in between time, take care, have fun, happy trails.